He is an actor who you've seen in a lot of great shows and is one of the stars of SkyMed, which is available on Paramount Plus and CBC Gem, and is also still airing weekly on CBC. And people should definitely check it out, SkyMed. Please welcome back to the program, Praneet Akilla.
Hello, hello.
Hey there, sir. How's it going?
I'm good. It's so good to be back with you guys again. I always look forward to these. So thank you.
Yeah, no, we look forward to talking with you as well, because whenever we have you on the show, we get a lot of emails and a lot of tweets, people getting very excited. You got quite a energetic and enthusiastic fan base out there, Praneet.
Oh, that's very sweet. I'm having it's good. Your energy will keep me going. I'm having one of those push through it Fridays as well.
Oh man, so did you go into hibernation mode too early, like Mr. Green?
I don't know. It must have been something I ate. I'm not sure. I'm in take it 1 hour at a time mode right now.
1 hour at a time. Well,
yeah.
We'll try to make this next little bit as painless as possible for you. Of course, as I mentioned, you're one of the stars of SkyMed, a show that we've very much enjoyed here on the program. Of course, air ambulance team pilots and nurses servicing northern Manitoba and remote regions and Indigenous peoples. A great show, a lot of drama, a lot of fun, a lot of comedy. But this is what I hear from every person I've talked to from the show, that they're like, Praneet is Chopper, Chopper is Praneet. And that the guy that Chopper is based on, when the two of you met, they were like, it was like Praneet was meeting himself.
Yep. That's exactly that. Yes, very accurate. That's exactly how I feel. I think it's one of those things where the universe sort of just dropped it into my lap, and I instantly connected with the material. I instantly connected with the character, and I think, it was not a very hard audition. Let's just put it that way. I think it's the least acting I've ever done in my entire life. So I just showed up to set, played myself, basically. But it really, I was looking forward to doing something, a little more adult oriented, and I was also looking forward to doing a little more comedy and just being sort of an everyman, because in the past I've just been in all these fantastical universes that I just got to be a person in life, in real life. And so I think in more ways than one, it was sort of the perfect project, the perfect part, and everything aligned very correctly. Unfortunately, that also means all my embarrassing moments were shared with everybody on set as well. So I wasn't just acting, unfortunately. That is me.
Yeah, I was going to ask you actually about that, is because a lot of the times that we've spoken to you so far, it has been around some very like supernaturally, like super actiony kind of projects, and this is like there is action in SkyMed, but it is more grounded in a realism and in a reality that anybody could kind of picture. Right. And like what was that been like overall for you, like coming into not having to worry about green screens or acting against tennis balls or like things like that, like what's that been like for you?
Oh my, I was blown away, first of all, just by how practical everything on set was. Like there was not, like I would say maybe 70% of the entire show was done on location, so we were out in the wilderness, we were out in northern Manitoba, we were out in the cold. And so when that happens, I've been used to doing a lot of green screen stuff. So like, I think for the first time I was able to just immerse myself in the environment, which was, the actor's dream, because a part of, yes, I have to bring a lot to my role, but the environment always just makes it 10 times sort of easier, because you're right there in the thick of things. And certainly, all the plane sequences and everything like that, being able to be there in these environments, talk to these pilots, talk to some of these communities, see firsthand, what a lot of these people in this profession go through. I don't think you could get that with a green screen, experience by any means. So it was incredibly refreshing for me as just the actor being in that type of environment, but also, I think it also helped all of us, with the performances on the show. And I was just very excited. It was weird showing up to set and knowing that I could actually breathe oxygen outside of a soundstage. It was like, oh wow, this is interesting. There's bugs and
Yeah.
things that come from the ground and wind and stuff that I have to like manage now. I can't just not everything's controlled room
Right.
temperature.
Yeah,
So
yeah, getting out there, it's unpredictable, totally. Oh my God.
yeah, yeah,
But now the other thing about the character of Chopper is that he's an engineer. And of
yes,
course, we talked with you before about how you went to school to be an engineer.
yeah.
Now, I heard that there was kind of a thing that you got reunited with kind of more of the whole engineer feeling when you got to play Chopper because you were given the Iron Ring, which of
Right.
course is what all engineering graduates, and you had lost yours, and that this was kind of like a reunion, a spiritual reunion of sorts.
Oh yeah, yeah, yes. That's why this role is so weird, man, because it's just so it's like you don't have to be overtly religious or anything like that, but like this happened for a reason. I feel I have to think that because it's crazy how serendipitous it feels. Like literally, I am Chopper in life, and so it's just this weird thing. Like other actors on the show were trying to like figure out their character arcs and all these things, and like I was like, I know this person inside out. I'm an engineer, and I remember like yeah. So for those who don't know, the Iron Ring is basically it's something that Canadian engineer university graduates get, and it's basically supposed to symbolize like an ethical, responsible engineer, that you'll honor all the codes, and that if you see that a bridge is about to collapse or the structural integrity of something is about to be incredibly dangerous, you speak up, because you not only owe yourself that, you owe the society and community that as well. So we all get this Iron Ring as like, and we take this oath and everything like that. It's very Lord of the Rings epic, and so I took mine with me, to India for my graduation trip. And it's a precious ring. I do value it a lot because it's something that represents the amount of work that I had to go into getting this degree, because it's McGill University kicked my ass. Let's just put it that way. And then I lost it somewhere near the Taj Mahal, because that's where I last saw it. So it's somewhere in that area. And then just it's been years since I've seen it. And of course on set, the props department gives me this ring to wear, and I literally caught myself being like, "Oh my God, you found it! Thank you." Like it just came out. Like it just came out of my body involuntarily. And she's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Oh, well, you." And I had to like catch myself and be like, "Praneet, you idiot! Like it's the prop ring. It's not your real life ring." And and like it would be like, and that was the first of many instances where I would like catch it on my finger and I'd be like, "God, you were in a cubicle like working as an engineer like only like 3.5 years ago." Like it's strange that like you're just here saying lines. Some days just like one line and then you go home. Like it's just a weird thing, It's a weird profession that way. And so, yeah, I mean, it kind of, I feel like it all came full circle in more ways than one, and just very very thankful to the universe, for dropping Chopper into my lap.
Yeah, it still blows me away that you went to school to be an engineer, and then now like you're acting in these projects, and it's such an interesting concept to think of, and I know it's not uncommon amongst actors to take a path and then realize that they wanted to either get back into acting or discovered acting along the way. It's always interesting to me that it happens, right? And and you went down this path. Do you have any regrets at all about not continuing in the engineering field?
No regrets, zero. But I will say I also don't regret. Somebody asked me the other day, like, do you regret wasting your time doing that? And my answer was no, because I think all of those life experiences made me a better actor. I think,
Right.
And you have to go through some adversity in life. You have to like, I always that's my advice. Like a lot of young actors always come up to me, especially young South Asian actors who sort of went through the same family pressures I went through, who are first generation immigrants, that like, their parents want stability and security and they want to do the arts. And my biggest advice to them is always like, go do a job, like get an education, like learn something, like do something useful to society other than learning lines and doing stuff in front of the camera, because those things actually make you a well-rounded human being. And if you don't observe the universe, if you don't observe life around you, and you don't meet characters in your day-to-day lives, and if you're just all you're doing is sitting at home and like wanting to be an actor, then you're really doing much research in terms of observing people in general, and I think being an engineering graduate gave me the opportunity to just meet all sorts of people from different walks of life, and like it just tested me on so many levels, both physically and mentally, and I wouldn't change that for the world, so I'm thankful actually in a way to my engineering degree and my experiences.
No, I totally get that, because back when I used to do stand-up comic, there was always stand-up comedy. There was always these younger stand-up comics that spent their entire time just doing stand-up.
Yeah.
And so all of their jokes had like no life experience to them. And I was always saying to them, get out and do something with your life.
Yeah.
Then you'll have something to talk about on stage. Like, what the hell?
And adversity, right? It's all like comedy, especially. The best comedy I find comes from just adversity, just falling flat on your face, and like just shame and guilt, and just walking around embarrassing yourself. Like that's where all the fun stuff comes
totally.
Out. So
Andrew knows all about that. So.
Hey, I suffer from my art every day. Oh my God. We got an email in from Steve L, who says, "Hey, love Praneet. If he's not feeling well, he can take a copter to the local hospital. Love the guy."
Oh my God. I got so many of those jokes, by the way. Like so many get to the choppa jokes, and yeah.
Now, of course, Steve, I'm going to save the second part of your email for our review of Lord of the Rings later. But seeing on Twitter there that the drop of this show is something you've been waiting for, isn't it?
I have watched it.
Yeah.
I literally last night on a big screen 4K television, I had it all hooked up. I'm so neurotic. I played with the settings on my TV to get the most optimal viewing experience for an hour and a half. I think I didn't want to watch too much of it, so I would forward to maybe 3 minutes in, and I would just stop. I'd pause the frame, and I would adjust the settings on my TV to get the most optimal viewing capability. That's how much of a nerd I am, and I'm so happy that it's finally here. And I know you guys are doing a review, and I won't spoil anything or do that, but I'm happy. Let's just put it that way.
It's honestly though, it's great to hear you kind of nerd out about it, because it's not often that we get somebody on who is excited by the latest movie or TV show that we're about to do anyways, but to hear you talk about it, it's you let's face facts, you're only one of millions of people around the globe that have a connection to this this material and are interested in it, so
totally.
And I would say that between it obviously and House of the Dragon a couple weeks ago, these are the two biggest fantasy things on the planet right now, and it's an embarrassment of riches. It's crazy how quickly that pop cultural switch happened. You think about 2003. If you were reading, Game of Thrones, that novel, a book at that point in high school or school, you get made fun of. And now it's the entire zeitgeist is just flipped around on its head. So for a comic nerd like myself, and just just seeing everything coming up, and just seeing all these novels and this fantasy lore come to life the way it has, being a big part of pop culture is just, it's wild to me. And yeah, I love those stories. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just the storytelling that just attracts me to it. I remember lining up when I first moved to Canada as a new immigrant. I didn't know what Lord of the Rings was by any means, or Harry Potter. And I remember that was the Fellowship of the Ring was actually the first movie that I ever saw in theaters on North American soil. I remember lining up as a kid and not having no concept of what it was, and I watched the first movie, and I was like, oh my God. And then I read all the books, and I read the Silmarillion, I read the Hobbit. It was just, it all started from there. And I mean, honestly, those movies are a part of the reason why I'm here. Even, I think if it wasn't for those and just how inspired I was by those, then I don't think I'd be, doing this as a profession, really. So, I'm not so there's a lot of haters out there, people that who we're talking about, the people that are annoyingly they didn't do this part right, and we need to think, and that's just dude.
Oh, you did the thing. It's an involuntary thing that when you start doing that voice, you automatically have to adjust your imaginary glasses. Yeah.
Oh God, and I have to stop myself from getting into Twitter battles with these people because I'm just
Yeah.
like, you know what? I'm just gonna just let them be, and you just be happy on your island, you know. But
Honestly, it is sometimes hard. Like me and Andrew have talked about this over the years, like offline, a lot. Is that there are times where you see somebody say some stuff and you're like, and then the inner nerd of you wants to over nerd them, and then you have to remember that it's a losing battle, right?
Yeah.
Like there's no point, right? There's no
No.
winners.
Right.
no, and they can't accept the fact that like an adaptation is an adaptation. Like it's like a weird. It's like everybody's telling them it's not the same thing. It is a version of, and yet they're like, but how can it not? And it's like trying to argue that is just it's you can't win an argument with irrational people. At the end of the day. So
Well, that and the fact that like there's always the books, there's always those original
things
films.
can exist in different mediums. Just if you like them, just keep enjoying it in that way. But yeah, incredible. Just absolutely like my high level review of it is that it's just like the money is incredibly well spent. Like whatever they used budget wise, yes, it is very much seen, and the score is incredible, and I just I absolutely loved it, and can't wait to see more.
Fantastic. Now, of course, also recent news that you put out there is you've gotten to star in your first video game role. For Chant coming out this November.
Yes, I've done a few more since then, but of course I'll talk about them when I'm allowed to. But yeah, this is my first ever one. It's been a few years in the making. It's my first sort of motion capture role. They made the character look like me as well, and that's the part that always weirds me out a little bit. I'm still like, oh my god, this is just so weird because it's like it is me, but it's also not me at the same time, and so it's just this odd like thing that I'm still getting used to. But oh man, it was so much fun. Brass Token. I heard about them briefly before because they're an indie game developer, and they did the game Bully. I don't know if you've either played that game before, but yeah, like they. Great, wonderful people to work with, so kind, and the cast and crew were just incredible. And it was my first time going through that gauntlet, the motion capture gauntlet. And at the end of the day, it's the same really, but like it's also like you get a camera like right here, and you got dots everywhere, and everything's being tracked. And it's coming out in the fall. It's coming out in November, and I think people are going to be really stoked about it, especially the people that love the horror games and stuff. I mean. It's really, really scary. So.
Yeah, who doesn't love a video game about a cult? It's always a good time.
Oh,
what are you doing tonight? Oh, I'm going home, joining a cult for a few hours. Then I'm going to turn it off. There you go.
No, this is a nice cult. This is a very nice cult. It's really welcoming.
That's an oxymoron, sir. A nice cult.
No. Remember, Andrew, all cults are very, very welcoming. They always want new members.
That's true.
Exactly.
It's all about the love until the knives
come. It's all about perspective. It's all about how you it's all about perspective.
Right. ABC always be closing. Got it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, but the one thing I do get is that when you're looking at the finished product, it must have like a very uncanny valley feeling to, like as you said, see that it's you but it's not you on the screen there.
Oh, it's interesting because I was able to go through we spent about 3 years making it, and in those years like I was in and out in the studios and stuff like that, and like I would see some of the behind the scenes animation process, and so I got to see the build of things, like what it is now in the trailer is not what it was this time last year, and so getting to see how even just like the animation has gotten more detailed over the months has been a really rewarding experience, just getting to see the rendering artists work and how incredible they all are. And so I hope to keep doing more. Like I'm not a huge gamer. Like I played World of Warcraft a decent amount, and some first-person shooter games and stuff like that. So, but I may have to start up a Twitch for this and start streaming. But,
wow! There you go.
Yeah. I mean, I have to, right? I have to play my own video game. I have to.
Yeah,
it feels like a lost opportunity.
You should definitely play with yourself live on Twitch. Totally.
Yes, Andrew. Yes.
I think that's the title of your Twitch stream too.
Yeah. As and with really makes a difference. Like that's two
Yeah.
Really, really, it's a
Very
fine line.
important distinction, definitely.
Yes.
Oh my
yes,
God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, as always, it's a blast talking with you, man.
Oh,
And
thanks,
I
guys.
look forward to whatever other projects you got coming down the pipe.
Thank you so much.
And also whatever you got to end up developing, because I know that you're out there not only acting in front of the camera, but you're trying to put together projects behind the scenes. So
Yes.
really hope you get some of those things off the ground. And I really hope that we get a SkyMed season 2. Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Yeah, your lips are sealed. Definitely, we can't. Even if you had information, you couldn't tell us.
I couldn't say.
Yeah.
I couldn't say. But yes, we all want it, and the reception's been so positive and so wonderful from everybody. And I encourage people to check it out. I mean, it's definitely in a very saturated genre, which is the medical procedural. You've seen a bunch of those shows, but I would say that this one's different because it doesn't take place in a major city, and it takes place in the remote outdoors, and it sheds a light on a really underappreciated profession, and certainly the people and certainly indigenous communities that don't have the same resources that we all do.
Right.
And so, it's a unique show in that sense. And so, yeah, check it out, CBC Gem and Paramount Plus worldwide.
And if you haven't checked it out, you definitely got to check it out just for the, as I was saying to other people, the most interesting meet cute I've ever seen, where people meet on CB radios, definitely. Oh my God. All right.
Oh man. Yeah. But that CB radio didn't have an antenna, just to let you know. And we got a lot of shit for it. And I just want you to know that it's very inaccurate, and I have lost sleep over it, and it's unacceptable. You
didn't do that. You didn't do the finger to your glasses thing. You got to do that when you make
missed
that
opportunity
comment.
there. I should have. Yeah.
Well, it's important note for a potential season 2, right? Like have antenna.
The engineer in me was heartbroken. I was just like, dude, how could you do this? You were on set and you didn't recognize that. I didn't. Just very disappointed in myself. So.
Oh man. Well, you'll get it better next time. Have yourself a great night, man.
Thanks, guys. Okay, you too. Goodbye.
Bye. Thanks, Praneet.